Hey y'all, I'm Joanna. I'm the creator of Joanna's DIY Life, and this is what I do, plus you never know what else. Today I'm in a collaboration with Lisa at Crafting My Best Life with Lisa, and her guest host is Making It My Own DIYs. These are two talented ladies, and we are in a playlist, so make sure that you go down to my description box and get on the link for the playlist and check out these two hosts. Their links will be down there as well. But y'all, this is the one that almost did not make it, okay? So this has been in my stash forever, but I don't want the family part in there, okay? So I'm going to take my Dremel and I'm going to cut it away. Now, when I did this, I wasn't going to post it. This DIY made me so stinking mad. I'm not even going to lie. I had trouble after trouble after trouble, and it took me forever. I had to have at least 2 DIYs for this collab, so I threw one in and at the end about how I rust stuff. So yeah, so make sure you check that out back there. But listen, I was so excited I got that out, but I had to take it apart, okay? I had to cut that away to make this usable. And I'm sorry I'm dancing. I'm always listening to music while I'm DIYing. That's just me. And I'm thinking I'm having a pretty good day. And then this thing stressed me out. So, like I said, I took it apart, and my plans were to just paint the inside with Waverly's plaster. Well, I start painting it, and then you'll see what happens. But as I was not going to do this, it reminded me of something. So I'm editing today, the day of, because I was just going to scrap it and not have nothing. But you know what? I was thinking about my life, and this DIY came in the mix of it. So I'm just painting along, okay? And I did not expect what happened to happen. It started bubbling up in the middle. So I just started ripping, taking it apart, okay? Because I had no choice. Well, in the process of tearing this away, my little rickety box broke. That I had to peel off, and it broke. But I fixed it, okay? I fixed it. So in the end, it's all going to come together. But I was so mad in the process. And you know, look, sometimes we get busted, we get broken, we get disgusted. But you know what? God's always there to pick us up and put us back together. And when God picks us up and puts us back together, He does it right. See my pieces down there? I had to take it all apart because it was falling apart. There's Mod Podge on there, and I'm just going to stick it to my hands or my fingers, and that's how I'm going to pull my napkin apart, okay? There are 3 layers. One of them's a little tricky, so I'll redo my fingers, but you know, we're just clay. We're just a lump of clay down here, and God is the potter. He is the ultimate carpenter. You know, when He was on this earth, He was a carpenter. He is the master builder. And who better to put us back together than Jesus, right? And that's what I got out of this. And I don't know, I've never done anything like this on my channel, but it came to me. And I had to share, because you're not something to throw away. You're not worthless. You're not useless. Just lean on God. Go to God, and He could put you back together better than what He found you. That's His whole purpose, is to put us back together again. When we're broken, when we're disgusted, when we're hurt, when we're lonely, He'll be the friend that sticketh closer than a brother. I mean, He's everything we need. But if we are that broken, don't turn to other things. Don't sit in a disgusted spot. Or people get in my husband says mully grubs all the time. And I tell him, get out of the mully grubs, buddy. Pick yourself up, put it in 4-wheel drive, and get yourself out of the mully grubs. You don't got to sit there in that. You know, God intends His children to be happy, joyous. Joy comes within. It doesn't come from, things that make you happy. That's not joy. That's not eternal joy. Joy comes from within. And Joy is only something that God can give you. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. I just wanted to share that with you. Y'all be encouraged. So I put that Mod Podge on there. I'm just going to go through what I did. I put Mod Podge on it and I let it dry. I dried it with a heat gun, and then I ironed my napkin down because I didn't want any more mistakes, and that is like flawless. So I set a Teflon sheet over top of it, and then I put this all back together, glued it down. I got this shiny off of that and stapled the back, and now I'm going to put my top back down on it. I know this DIY, the way I usually do them, I explain everything I'm doing in detail, but y'all could see what I did here, but it cannot be that long because I'm in a collab, and I really needed to say what I had to say. I don't know what you're going through, but it doesn't matter because God can put you back together and make you whole again. And this thing, I had to put it back together, and it came out better than what it looked like in the first place. So that's why I did decide to show it, because it did come out. But this thing is warped right here because it's Dollar Tree stuff. So I'm going to clamp it and let that dry. Okay. But like I said, y'all just be encouraged. And I'm sorry if you don't like this video. I'm so sorry. I may lose subscribers. I don't know. That's just what I felt like sharing. So these right here were done last year, and I didn't like them, and I threw them in my stash. So I'm going to grab them, repaint them, and I don't like that orange. This is paint from, I'm going to put Java in it, but it is, I almost said Cracker Barrel. Y'all, that's on everybody's mind lately, ain't it? We ain't going to talk about that either. But anyway, it is not Apple Barrel. What is it? Waverly's pumpkin, I think is what it is. Well, I didn't like my pumpkin that color. So I wanted to darken it up. Now when this dries, it does darken a lot more. So I'm going to paint all these. I'm not painting the back per se because we're going to glue it down. You don't want paint on it when you glue it down. I'm not going to paint the stem, or at least I'm trying not to paint the stem. So when I get them all painted, I'm going to take gathered twigs and this stiff brush, and I'm going to go in between where these are little wood slices. Imperfection wood slices is what I made the pumpkins out of. And then I used a little piece of wood for the stem. And I'm going to distress these, give them a little dimension, and get my paint off my stems there. And then I'm going to darken the stems, okay? And I'm sorry for the shaking. I didn't realize that when I was dancing, the shaking was going on. I had a whole lot of shaking going on. But anyway, yeah. So, sorry for my singing. I can't sing. Plus the ragweed. The ragweed here in Tennessee, 100. 100 on the pollen count for 3 days. Guess what your girl's allergic to in the fall? Ragweed. My eyes are itching. My nose is stopped up 1 minute and running the next, and it's just ridiculous. But anyways, I'm hanging on. I'm getting through it. But this wire I got at Hobby Lobby, I absolutely love it. It does not come apart like the Dollar Tree wire used to. This is awesome. This is good. If you could find it, and it's probably on 40, 50, 60% off right now. I don't know what, but grab it at Hobby Lobby. Okay, so I'm just going to twirl it around my brush there and make my tendrils here. And then I'm going to put a ton of hot glue down in there and set that down, and then put a blob of hot glue on top of it and then let that sit. And I'm going to do that to all of them. Once I get them on there, look how cute they are. I'm going to take wood glue. Oh, and I did use wood glue throughout this whole thing pretty much. I did use hot glue here to stick these down, and I'm putting these in there to figure out where these need to go. I want them staggered, but I'm just using little bumps of hot glue to hold it right now, and wood glue will hold it forever, okay? But I'm just staggering these in there and putting them down. Oh, I painted the frame moss green. And then I just sanded the rest of the shiny off of that little plaque. You can use any wood plaque. You can use a piece of wood, whatever. You don't have to do them at all. I just thought this was a cute idea. I had the pumpkin sign from last year. It was in my stash. I did it and didn't use it. But I thought it was a little plain. So I've got these little nails. First of all, I'm going to sand it off and distress it. Okay, then I got these little nails that came with something that I got. And I'm going to grab those and I'm going to tack them in the corners. And there they are, but I don't know what I'm thinking because you can't see that. So let me open these real quick and get them in my hand. And I'll bring them back up there. These are teeny, teeny, tiny tacks, okay? Teeny, teeny, tiny tacks. And I'm going to take a pokey tool. And I'm going to... No, I'm not. Yes, I am. I'm going to take my pokey tool and I'm going to poke a hole. And this is just going to get it started and show me where I'm going to put my little tack. So I'm going to take a pair of tweezers and I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to just use my little tiny tacker. And I'm going to tack those in each corner. Okay, just like that right there. Alright, now I'm going to take moss, of course I am, and I'm going to get little pieces of moss and I'm going to glue it on here until I get it the way I want it. I'm so sorry about my head popping in. I'm standing up because my back is hurting and I didn't want to sit down. So I just was standing up and I don't know what I was thinking. My head pops in here a bazillion times and I'm so sorry. But yeah, so I'm just going to put this moss on all three of those. All right, that was quick. Now I got these paper leaves, Hobby Lobby maybe? I don't know. Hobby Lobby or Dollar Tree. And I'm going to glue one on each of these pumpkins. I put a little flower in it. And yeah, so that's that. So this second one. So I'm going to, people's asked me before, how do you rust stuff? Now, first of all, when you rust stuff, you got to make sure it's metal and not aluminum or nickel because it does not rust, okay? So, you take peroxide and white distilled vinegar, okay? You want more peroxide than you do vinegar. But at first, I'm going to put equal parts of peroxide and then vinegar. So, you want equal parts of peroxide and vinegar. Then I'm going to take salt, and I'm going to put salt in this right now. And I do it again later. I'm going to swish that around. And then I'm going to put my, vinegar in there. And they started floating. So I'm going to have to push them down. Okay. I'll push them down in a minute. And then I add more. I didn't push them down. I don't know what I'm doing. So I added more peroxide and then salted them on top. And I'm going to leave them sit. This has been about 20 minutes. You can see them bubbling. And it's so neat. But this gets hot too. It'll get warm. So you want to put it on something, look at it bubbling. It's doing its reaction there. So equal parts of hydrogen peroxide and white distilled vinegar. And then salt it. And you want a little more peroxide added than you do vinegar. So it's going to make this foamy stuff. And like I said, it gets warm. You see it, what it's doing? It's so neat. It is so neat. So look, they're starting to rust. But some of them do not rust. Some of them do. I'll show you the ones that rusted in a picture. But this is a video I did in the past. And I threw it in here because I had to have two. But this is what they come out looking like. That's what they look like. I absolutely love this. So that's how I do it. This is what I did, and it's a little bit dark. I forgot to turn my tripod light on, but anyways, yeah. So this is it, and look at it. After something that fell apart and was busted and broken, and even I took it apart, came out so stinking rustic and beautiful, and it all came together, and there's my little pumpkin patch. Y'all do not be discouraged. Be encouraged. If anybody can do it, God can. Okay? Have faith and put your trust in Him. Y'all don't forget to check out Lisa and Brandy and the entire playlist. You'll be inspired, I'm sure. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. You are a blessing. Goodbye.